These are my 3 favorite Atlas strategies for the current league. These strategies for me change based on the build I'm running, the content I prefer to run, and what the current league presents. This league's really nice. You can run basically whatever. You just get the coins, and the coins let you into the Halls of the Dead, so I don't need to worry about that. I can run whatever, and I'll still get coins. That being said, I've tried every single content except for a couple. I never invest into Trail. I'm not a big fan of putting anything into that. The only thing I use it for at the beginning of the league is to gather veiled items for crafting, and I don't put any points into it. I just force it onto maps by choosing master missions simply to find veiled items. There's 2 other things that I personally don't care for. The one is going to be Beyond. I don't mind Beyond, but I don't go out of my way to force it onto a map. If I do, it's with a sextant, not through actually investing into the tree. And I'm not an overly big fan of its current state. So I do like Beyond as a whole. As I said, I just don't like how it currently functions. I wish Metamorph was removed from the game. I absolutely despise Metamorph, and I've never, with exception of getting a specific achievement for a league reward, I've never invested into Metamorph ever, and I just purely don't like it. That being said, every other content I've tried this league for this character, and my character can run it all, including maps, bossing, which gives me a huge variety to choose from. This strategy that is currently on the screen has a couple variations that you can do, and I've used this strategy specifically to farm maps. I have singular focus allocated, and I use this to farm maps for destructive play. As you can see, I have lockboxes, I have some delve. I've enjoyed delve tremendously with this character, so I have delve allocated to get extra missions. But I have harvest, I have more maps, I have harbinger, I have harvest, singular focus, and this is my focus on farming maps. I have a gateway right here to take me from side to side. That allows everything over here because I don't need too much. I have lockboxes, harbinger, more harvest, eater of worlds. Crop rotation, more Eater of Worlds, lockboxes up here, quantity and rarity, harbingers, more harvest, more maps. All right. So that's the basis of this strategy. And as you can see, there's 19 points remaining for you to invest as you feel fit. With those 19 remaining points, there's multiple things that you can do. I might personally suggest looking at what content you like to run, but 19 is also not an overly large quantity to invest in terms of applying a whole league. So there's some specifically that will work better than others. For instance, we can allocate delve. You can get almost all the points for delve in place. That way you can continue farming more and more sulfite. You can allocate all the nodes for shrines for domination, which is also currently on the map as a crafting option, or the map device as a crafting option. You could allocate the sextants, so you can just constantly roll your sextants. You could add the quantity and rarity in here. You can allocate essence, and there is enough points to get, I believe, all the essence nodes on here. You might have to adjust somewhere a little bit along the way, but it's not going to be that much. You can take all of expedition. I understand you can't do every single point, but you can avoid all the ones that work on forcing expedition onto the map, because if you're running expedition, you're going to be using a scarab. What else could we allocate on there? You could continue these over here, take this over here. You can switch out Eater of Worlds for Searing Exarch, and then you could take ghosts. You can also take Temple if you want something a bit more deterministic. You could also take some Trial of Glory. And that's about what I would recommend for this specifically. My second favorite strategy here goes hand in hand with the first strategy. And I've used the first strategy to farm maps using that singular focus to create a nice, smooth mapping experience for destructive play. This allows me to farm a series of, I normally go after 72, but you could do 10 of each instead if you like, because that's 100 maps, or 20 of each or 30 of each, or how many ever you want. Currently, I'm working towards 72 of each, but but you can farm the specific maps you want for destructive play. That way you don't have to use non-linear or maps like Maze are absolutely atrocious for doing destructive play. So I tend to focus on maps like Strand, Beach, City Square, Crimson Temple, things that I know have valuable drops that could randomly drop, but more so maps that are easy to get through the layout, easy to get to the boss. The boss is in basically the same spot every single time, and I can quickly get there. That being said, you notice down here I have both of these allocated, so this depends on what you're going for. If you're going after Temple, I'd go on this side. If you're going after Sulfite for maps, you go after this side. But when I do this, I've done both. For now, I would probably recommend going like this. I have everything blocked off but Black Thumb. So I have Grove, I have all the Grove nodes allocated. I have maps allocated on both sides because this is focused on farming maps. Or sorry, this is not focused on farming maps, but I still want maps to drop because I have Synthesis, Eldar Guardian, and Shaper maps all set to drop. That being said, the other focus for this is crop rotation. So I have everything from Grove. And in order to sustain this, there are a couple things, and I would recommend going after deterministic loot while doing this. Trial of Glory is one option, as it creates a chance for you to have an improved reward, which is really useful. Temple is very nice, and if you have Temple, you can take these away right here. And then you can take Temple also, if you're going to take it right here, you also want to come over here and take these nodes right here. From here, you have 9 points left to choose where you put them. So I've tried Lockbox with this, and I don't like the overall result. It feels like it's too random, and since I'm not focused on it specifically, I miss them, and I don't want to be using I'm also, as you can see, I have Stream of Consciousness, so I am not focused on using any type of investment in these maps. These maps are basically zero investment for the strategy. You can use Sextants that you roll in the other strategy here. So if you're, one of my favorite ones to do is Essence, which is right here. And I'm probably going to go like this and then remove these two. Then I'm going to come over here like so, take this node over here, this node right here, this node down here. I have 3 points left. Did I get everything? Yeah, I have all the essence nodes, and then if there's anything else I'm looking at, I have 3 points left. You know what? I'm going to come in here, take Trial of Glory. This is probably my preferred one. This is what I'm currently running. And once again, I've farmed the maps that I want to use to ensure I have a good selection of easy maps to use with destructive play. So these two strategies I use kind of hand in hand, and they have very similar allocations, which makes respecking this pretty simple for the most part. And that's sometimes why I have down here allocated as well. This is my third and final mapping strategy for this league that is my favorite. I was running Delirious Breaches, and this felt really good and it was pretty fun. There's constantly things exploding, and I don't know, I enjoyed it. So this is my third and final. This one has nothing to do with the other two and is not related. As you can see, I come up here off to the right and I take Breach. And I come up here, I'm going to block off everything except Delirium. Going up here, taking more Breach. Notice I don't have anything allocated over here, but I also have 5 points remaining. So whichever Breach I feel like farming, I can put points into these right here. Gateway takes me over here, allows me to get Shaping the Skies, along with improved chance for Mirrors of Delirium, and then blocking off everything except for Breach. Coming up through here, I have Singular Focus. This also allows me to farm more maps for the previous destructive play strategy, but there are a more limited number of maps that this strategy works highly effectively with. Strand, Beach are very good for this, as is Cemetery. I don't care for Mesa. I don't feel like the spaces are open enough. City Square, I don't feel like the spaces are open enough. Crimson Temple, I don't feel like the spaces are open enough, so it doesn't work with as many maps. But it does get me a good base for some of the other ones that I tend to use. I'm coming up here, taking the more breaches over here, and more breach up here, coming through the center for quantity and rarity. This I just need to reach the center. More maps up here. Delirium right here. This node is very useful, but not quite as useful as the one up here. This node right here is absolutely mandatory. It is considerably valuable as it jumps up all your delirium layers by 1 after you kill the boss, which should be the very last thing you do. And since you're jumping from breach to breach, the time inside the breach does not expire for, if it does currently, it's much less. I know it used to not. It seems, from me playing this, and I did quite a few maps with this, it seemed pretty effective in terms of what I was gaining from this. So breach over here again, and then I'm coming back down here, taking Searing Exarch and the rest of Delirium. Once again, this strategy has been really fun to run. The two things that are good to note for this strategy are this top part being allocated from here to here, and the 1 point over here comes to 22% increased effective modifiers on map. So something has to the effect of 70% reduced aura effect. That means it's not actually 70%. It's actually 70 plus 15%. 22%, well, 20% of 70 is 14, so roughly 15%. So you can add 70 plus 15, that gets you to, it's actually 85% reduced of aura effects. So you have to be very careful with the maps that you choose to run with this strategy, as they can become very dangerous very quickly, especially if you heavily rely on auras. I love this build as a whole. The two things that I generally have to watch out for with this one are reduced effect of auras, and then reduced effect of life, mana, and energy shield regeneration, because those two will shut your build down. Everything else I can personally manage, but you need to ensure you have a character that's capable of doing so, as the top part can make maps, as stated, really dangerous. I have 5 points left. Depending on what I'm doing determines where I'm going to allocate them, and there's not many places where they're going to go. If I'm focused on a singular breach, as I said, I'm going to pick that down here, and the rest is probably going to go into quantity over here. I also have a few nodes. I can put them right here. I can also switch these over here. I can take off all of Searing Exarch and put them in Eater of Worlds. Anything left over is, once again, going in quantity or rarity. As Searing Exarch is easier, you're more likely to find more altars using Eater of Worlds. And that's your choice. But this is my 3 favorite mapping strategies for the league, and I think the only one that I have not put out videos for is this last one, which I might do here in the next couple days. Hope you found the information useful, and thanks for watching.